Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by Barstool Sports and 3Chi. I am your host, Robbie Fox, along with my co-pilot, Clem, and we are here for an Ahsoka Episode 3 recap. Ahsoka Episode 3 just came out last night as we're recording this at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Disney, for that. But I'm not letting that distract me from the fact that Bob Iger just came out and said all this crazy shit about the writer's strike. I tweeted Clem. I said, I think I might have to kick Bob Iger's ass if he doesn't settle this writer's strike. But I'm doing good. How are you doing? Are you excited about Ahsoka?
I kind of like that Bob Iger is responsible for the entire writer's strike and getting it solved. However, like Disney just buys every fucking giant property anyway that most of this money is moving around. So challenge him to the octagon, Bob. Fuck it. Let's get
I said I'm gonna kick his I would kick his ass. Me and Bob Iger, we could do 5 rounds in Rough and Rowdy now. Come on down. I know you watch the pizza reviews, so we know you watch this as well. Listen, you want to catch these hands? You'll catch these hands.
Now, I understand this is Bob. He's lashing out a little bit right now because Bob is not happy that we had a 37-minute runtime for an episode 3 of an 8-episode season here, and he's not happy about it. Old man right here, very happy. Because listen, 9 o'clock, great time. At 10 o'clock, these eyes are starting to fade. At 9:30, to be honest, they're starting to fade. So I was like, all right, baby, let's just trim the fat off. I've seen enough bad Disney Plus shows over the last few years to be like, even if there's the good ones, let's just keep it lean. My favorite cut is the filet mignon, right? You just no fat in there, just the good stuff. And I mean, if you add in commercials and stuff, it would be an hour-long show. So I start fading a little bit. I forget what happens in the episode. These breakdowns become 2.5-hour recaps. I'm fine with the half hour, but I understand Bob, and I imagine most of the people that know Rebels are fiending their Ahsoka. It's been years. They're ready to rock and roll. The guys like me who are still being like, the fuck is a space whale? We need a little more time to kind of digest everything.
Well, I feel like we do literally need more time to digest some stuff, where this episode just started getting rolling and then it ended for me, where I was like, what the hell? Well, like I was really getting into it. It seemed like we were about to go into a big battle or something, especially when we have a lot of backstory to catch people up on, a lot of Rebel stuff, a lot of Thrawn stuff, Ezra stuff, Purrgil stuff, the space whales. So I was a little bit like, and the fact that the first one's like 56 minutes, then the second one's 44 minutes, then the third one's like 36 minutes or whatever it is. It is a little bit worrying. I said you might be able to fit the finale in a TikTok. It's going to be a 2-minute finale. What's happening at this pace?
Could you imagine if they did that? If like Bob Iger's like, we're looking at the data. I think we're going to throw the finale on TikTok as well at the same time. It'll be 2 minutes, tight 2 minutes.
Would it surprise you they put the fucking Palpatine return on Fortnite?
No, it wouldn't surprise me. Bob, you're joining the dark side, aren't you? I hear it in your voice. This is where I was at one point. I remember it was like a third of the way through Last Jedi where I was like, oh shit, I think I hate this right now. And Bob is starting to change. I literally went to my brother. I tapped him on the shoulder during that movie and I go, I don't like this movie. Am I alone? He's like, what? Huh? And then after the movie, he's like, yeah, I hated it too. I was like, all right, good. Not just me. So he's going to the dark side, folks. He's getting these animated characters brought to real life, story, good action, and he's still turning dark. Our boy Bob.
Well,
because you know what? Anakin,
like it so much.
You're our Anakin at Barstool. You're our Anakin.
Yeah.
And we know he is the signature dark side character in the entire franchise.
Well, that's the thing is Anakin loves Padme so much that he's like, I'll do anything to save her. I really like this show. I think it's great. I just want more of it. I don't want it to go away after 35 minutes. Even my girlfriend was next to me on the couch watching it. She was like, wait, that's it? It's over? Like, we literally just started it. So listen, I understand liking the 35-minute runtime. I'm also of the thought, I don't want you to just extend it for the sake of extending it. Go fucking Zack Snyder and show us everything in slow motion or something. But I thought, I don't know. I like you said, 8 episodes. I wanted a little more.
I will say this. I can definitely see me getting upset after the finale and being like, I wish we had more time with Thrawn, right? Because I think I'm going to like Thrawn based on what everything you guys have told me. I'm already like almost halfway through my first season with Chopper, and he's been on screen for like 8 seconds, which kind of pisses me off. I get so aggressive when Chopper's on screen. I'm like, let's go fucking burn some houses, Chopper. Let's smoke some cigarettes, dude. He brings out the bad boy in me. I didn't even know I had a bad boy side until I saw this little droid. And I could definitely
I would love to be able to make a Chopper in a leather jacket shirt. Can we do that now that we're kind of in the Wild West again with Dave?
If there's one guy who appreciates pushing the cease and desist boundaries and Star Wars, it happens to be the guy who just bought the company and says he doesn't mind taking $1 million loss along the way. So I think that might be it's worth at least the conversation, I'd say.
How about I read some of Dave's Ahsoka thoughts live on air? I think he'd be fine with that.
Can we put this as Dave Portnoy discusses Star Wars as like a reel or a TikTok or something like that?
Dave Portnoy's Ahsoka thoughts.
Yes.
And he's not in the video, but I'll read his Ahsoka thoughts. So he texted
put his name in all capital letters like everyone else does, even on our own blog, on our own fucking site. It's crazy.
Dave Portnoy, yeah. That when Threads was a thing for 2 seconds and we were all using that for 2 weeks, I was just being a Dave Portnoy reporter. I was just reporting on everything he was doing. So I got a text from Dave Monday night, 9:19 p.m. He said, just watch Ashoki. That's how he spelled it. Since when can you take a lightsaber to the gut and be okay 2 days later? Which is something that we brought up on this show. We both had an issue with that as well. So I thought it would be funny to send him the TikTok of the physician who went viral, stitching our TikTok saying like, no, missed all the vital organs. So I sent him that TikTok and I said the same thing. And I got goddamn physicians coming at me. And he said, that physician is wrong. You get stabbed by a lightsaber. That means you lost and you die. It looked like she just put her stomach on an oven for a minute. So then he came into the office yesterday and we started talking about it. He said he liked the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. He did not love them, specifically because he thinks Ahsoka's tail, Togruta headpiece looks too rubber.
As a non-Rebels watcher, I'm in the same boat. It's always been very distracting to me. I think it's something you guys have grown numb to, and I think you see the transition from animation to real life, and it's like, oh, that's just. It's like when you meet someone and they have like, like a birthmark on their face or something. You learn to like forget it over times. It's still like fresh for us. So we're just the eyes wander. We're like, what the fuck? So that's where Dave is. And I'm right there with him. So I'm completely understand our Dave Portnoy update of the week. You're in the office today. So if he's in, we got to get it for next week.
I know. And I almost did this podcast from his office because it was empty. And I don't know if he's coming in today, but I don't think he is. But then I thought in my head, I'm not going to do that to everyone else in the office because I'm here pretty early where they come in and they see Dave's office door closed with the light on. I was like, I'm not going to make everyone afraid like that.
That's some vicious shit. That's something that's like something Rowan would do. He is the Loki of Barstool, as I've said. So,
all right, let's get into this episode breakdown. And before we started recording, we both said this might be a shorter recap. So I do feel like a bit of a hypocrite if this is a shorter recap and I just complained about short run times. But, we're doing what we can with what they give us. So we kick things off with Sabine Wren going through Jedi training that looks a lot like samurai training. And I love this shit. I like samurai movies. I love Kill Bill. I love that Matrix training sequence where it's all samurai-ish. So I really enjoyed this stuff. She's being trained by Huyang, who are one of our favorite listeners, Frank, tweeted us and said, I'm shocked you didn't tell Clem more about Huyang. Me and Carl were actually telling you a little bit about him at the Barstool Awards. Huyang is this awesome droid. And as I said last week, if he were in any other era, he would be the number 1 droid in this universe show, but he's with Chopper. So it's a bit, thrown off here. He makes lightsabers for Jedi. He helps craft them, helped make Yoda's lightsaber. And he's like 1,000 years old, maybe thousands of years old. So he's a real one.
Yeah. I'm also appreciating that he kind of has hey, I've been in this game long enough. I'm not here to, make people feel good. I don't care if I hurt feelings along the way. He has a little Portnoy in him, I think, in that
a little way. Portnoy, and in this episode, I even felt a little Alfred. Even in the last episode, where like Alfred will tell Bruce when his shit is going off the tracks. He'll get him straight. So I feel a little bit of that with Huyang. Maybe it's just the British accent though.
That makes sense. Also, a little General Grievous, just because he has the 4 arms and he's fucking
4 arms. Yeah,
that was kind of weird.
And
man.
Speaking of General Grievous, there was like a lightsaber collection in the back, and as I'm watching it, I see all those lightsabers, and I stand up and like put my face this close to the screen. And my girlfriend's like, you make a better door than window over here. Like, what's going on? I was like, I just want to see if there's any Easter eggs in that closet. I must look like a lunatic.
The Basement Boys are just trying to get into the algorithms of all the different video sites here. And we're thinking Easter eggs, theories, predictions. We're trying to get all the buzzwords. Brendan Clancy is trying to help us out. We got the super producer on the case. So we're trying to do whatever we can. Robbie's fucking like he's looking at a magic eye painting, just fucking putting his face through the screen. I love it. This is what we do in the basement. We do it for you guys. And I guess we do it for us so then we can keep the basement lights on to then talk to you guys. So we're doing what we can right now. Hey, let's throw it out there right now. Is Huyang General Grievous? Maybe. Predictions.
Recap, reconstructed.
Spoilers. Yes, reconstructed.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Look, here's Huyang. Here's General Grievous. Sorry for all the podcast listeners. That was just us making a TikTok. That was a live TikTok.
His dad. He's General Grievous. His dad, even though General Grievous is like a lizard or something. All right, we
General
came up
Grievous
with that.
is also before him. Well, no, he's not because he's 1,000 years old. But we saw General. Yeah, it's
his dad.
The
Bob,
timelines are confusing me. And speaking of confusing timelines and numberings, by the way, I would just want to shout out. This is the 299th episode of My Mom's Basement. Now, is it officially that? No, just like George Lucas, we decided to make our numberings confusing. So I uploaded a bunch of Friday bonus episodes and unnumbered interviews during the pandemic. We have like 350 episodes on the podcast feed, but next week will be the official 300th episode. So we're going to try to do something a little special for that. Just wanted to give everyone notice, like look out for that.
I like that and exciting. And shout out to everyone that's been with us at any point during it and helping us make this 300. Here's to another 300, Lord Portnoy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love another 300. That'd be great. So Ahsoka at one point puts the visor on Sabine. Classic Jedi training shit here. We saw Luke go through this. We've seen Donnie Yen and Rogue One be one with the Force, even though he's got no eyes. You learn to reach out with your other senses. And she's struggling with it for sure. She's not picking up to it well. Huyang's kind of roasting her for it. He told her, I think, was it last week or this week, where he's like, you're the worst person I've ever seen with this. Like, you're just not picking it up at all. Tough to hear, but she's trying again.
Yeah, so two things. One, I just love how we're doing. They always have they have like the mask, the helmet. That's just, it's like the default Jedi training kit. I think it comes with everything, no matter what. And with Sabine, I have to admit it. I feel like I like Sabine. I feel like she would be one of my favorite characters if I had watched Rebels. I feel like she could still be one of my favorite characters. She's just not doing it for me right now. The whole, like, I want to be a Jedi, don't have the power. I even like the whole Mandalorian kind of twist to it all. It's just, it's not resonating. It's going in the head and it's just not sticking right now. It's just, people watching YouTube, I'm hitting myself in the head for no reason just to make this point. I think that's part of with Dave, I like it, don't love it. I need to get I think once the Sabine story starts cooking, I think we're going to roll. But as of now, just not clicking with me. But I see it. I can feel it. I feel it in the Force right now. That's the exact, right, Bob? You know me enough.
Yeah.
Doesn't she seem like she's not your, pure, clean white hero? It's like has a little grime in her, a little bit of, doesn't play by the rules and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so
Scoundrel. Does she have a little scoundrel in her to borrow?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love Sabine from Rebels. As you said, if you know the backstory, you're obviously going to like her more. I really like the actress that they cast to play her, but I'm ready for her to snap back into being Sabine a little bit. Like, she was more bubbly and more friendly and more upbeat, I guess, in Rebels. And I understand you start the characters off at a low point and you bring them out of that. Through 3 episodes, she's starting to come out of that for sure. This episode, I felt like she was way more friendly with Ahsoka and stuff. I feel like halfway through the season, when they're fully locked back in and the gang's back together, maybe that's when it'll fully click, hopefully. Because I do think it was good casting. They definitely just have to make her feel a little bit more like the animated character felt.
Yep. Okay. So I'm not going crazy there. And for the people saying you have to watch Rebels, why are you not watching Rebels? It's a disgrace you haven't watched Rebels. Guys, I get like this episode in whenever I can, like stuff for work, I get in. I just started watching like stuff for fun again. It's just really tough. It's kids. I got these goddamn. I'm the assistant editor in chief. I just have regular making content, and then I'm just old and I'm tired all the goddamn time. So there's a lot of shit going on. I'll try to get to it at some point. Someone just send me like an hour-long YouTube where they just cut it all together. I could pick up all the important shit, because I'm telling you, I don't know if we have anything crazier than space whales coming, but I just know I'm going to need to have like an appetizer for all that shit before we're ready to roll. But I'm in on Sabine. I'm like buying low on her for the TV show watchers. I'm buying low on her, even though I'm sure Rebels fans already love her.
Yeah. And speaking of watching things for fun, remind me at the end of this podcast, we got to talk telemarketers, because I've been catching up on telemarketers, and I have something I got to bring up. Something I would say is shocking. So stay tuned to the end of the podcast. Hera goes to ask for support and funding to go search for Ezra, essentially. And she tells everyone about the Eye of Sion and them using the Super Star Destroyer hyperdrive. One of the senators she's asking for support from is Mon Mothma, our girl from Andor, and obviously from many other things as well. Genevieve O'Reilly is the actress who plays her. Once again, we talked about this when we did Andor. If you don't know her story in Star Wars, she was cast back in 2004 to play Mon Mothma in Revenge of the Sith, which came out in 2005. Her scenes got cut. It was a deleted scene. And years later, when they decided they wanted to bring that character back, they gave her a call again. They were like, hey, I think we nailed that casting, even though we cut your scene. Do you want to come back? And here she is, connecting the whole friggin' Star Wars universe. She's in Rebels. She's in Andor. She's in, the original trilogy, obviously. And now she is in the Mandalorian universe, and more of a Mandalorian universe. A really cool way to make the universe feel connected, make everything kind of feel connected. Also, nice to see her in a good mood, or a semi-good mood. After Andor, she was very much on the brink of war, literally.
So that was the note I had. Mothma, all caps, exclamation points. That note goes to show you how good of a show Andor was, because the old like before Andor, if I saw Mon Mothma, like, oh, it's Mon Mothma. I think we all like Mon Mothma. She's like it's a name that's easy to remember, very memorable scene, and the actress is awesome, I think. Andor just absolutely crushed. So I see her on screen, and I know all the shit that's going on. I know how she is that shitty husband and that kid who's kind of a prick that I was hoping was going to get. Were we hoping for? I think I was just hoping she'd get. I don't know if I was using. There was an M word involved. I don't know if it was murdered or married to that. To like
or mutilated.
Dickhead. But yeah, maybe mutilated. I don't know. It was
you
probably
want a limb
wrong.
To get chopped off, maybe.
Yes, or no. Something even that would hurt her a little less. Maybe just like a lightsaber through the gut. It would hurt her for 5 seconds, and then she'd be fine again. So It was nice to see Mon Mothma. But it hurts as well, because you're just seeing this fucking New Republic just falling apart before it's even put together here. They're just a bunch of bozos. And I'm sure, like, we should probably have Ken Jack on and be like, Ken Jack, I feel like a lot of time when you have these like dictator fascist regimes, they get toppled, and then the new government comes in, they just fucking fail like 99% of the time. And then you have to fucking, whatever you fix from that collapsed government is how it's all going to go. But it just makes you feel, it kind of hurts that like at the end when everyone's dancing in Return of the Jedi and Yub Yub's playing in the background, and then it's just going to just a shitty government that can't, government their way out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah. And by the way, you said we should have Ken Jack on because he's a bit of a history buff, not because he's a fascist. I just want to make that note.
If that was your taking, if that was how you interpreted my saying, I know the guy who was in last season of Andor and was a real problem.
Yeah, I mean that was him. Yeah.
He's not a history buff. He was a history major in college, which is one of my favorite things in all of Barstool.
I don't know if I knew that about him.
I think he was. I'm 90% sure. The fact you didn't know kind of is giving me some pause, but I'm pretty sure he's a history major. And it's like everyone has these different routes they got to get to Barstool. And Robbie, you were in college, you dropped out, you had this internship, you started at the golf podcast as a intern. Didn't jerk off for a couple of weeks. I went through working different sports jobs, different sports companies, and a lot of the tech side. Kenjac was a history major, major, and Sama made it here. So everyone gets here all the same.
When she asks for funding, a senator shuts her down and it's like, you're just trying to fund your own shit to find your friend Ezra, who's obviously dead. And like you said, it's tough to see Mon Mothma is dealing with the exact same people she was dealing with pre-war, and she's just kind of in the same position, stuck. Hopefully by then she's divorced and whatnot. We see Jason, Hera's son, and Jason is spelled in a very Star Wars way. You think normally Jason, Jason, right? This Jason is Jacen. So you make it a little Star Wars. He is the son of both Hera and Kanan Jarrus from Rebels. Kanan Jarrus. He is Freddie Prinze Jr. So that's who voices him. Kanan is a Jedi, so Jason probably a future Jedi. We once again see Sabine does not have patience for training, but she tries to make a cup move, which is something that every Star Wars fan ever has done.
Yep.
That was a bit of a, I thought that was going to be like almost a Captain America in Age of Ultron thing, where like she nudged it or something, or when she walked away, the water rippled or something, and we would see maybe she's got a little bit of the Force in her. I liked the conversation though that they have where she's like frustrated, and Ahsoka's like, you don't understand, the Force is in everybody. You got to find it, but it's in everybody. I like that better than the Metachlorians.
Yeah. I did have a little bit of a was it Return of Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker, where it's
Return
like
of Skywalker. You just made up a Star Wars movie.
I made it better. I made it better. Let's call it what it was. I don't remember any parts of like episodes 8 and 9 at this point, but it wasn't that. I thought that was the exact thing. The Force is in everybody, and then the fucking kids sweeping out on the porch and the broom.
Exactly.
Moves, right? So
what a great narrative choice by Rian Johnson, a great director.
I'm sorry, puking live on the podcast.
I love Broom Kid. Broom Kid is great. Broom Kid is a great final shot for that movie. A great just message to put out there.
I wish Broom Kid
when he grabs it with the Force, people were like, "Holy fuck!"
I wish Broom Kid was who they replaced Iron Man 3 Kid with at Tony Stark's funeral, just to really confuse everyone. And he has a broom in his hand, obviously, as well. The cup, I'm going to call it now. The cup is sus. I don't like that cup at all. What do you think about that? Could be Sith. Could be a Sith cup.
I mean, I didn't even consider that possibility, but I'll support it.
Hey, listen, we're trying to hack the algorithm. Is the cup that Sabine couldn't move?
We'll do a video where we circle the cup in a thumbnail, like question mark.
Yes. I love the fucking YouTube. I have grown to love the YouTube thumbnails and how ridiculous they are. And yeah, let's get that done on there for a YouTube short. Also, speaking of sus, that he was kind of like an Asian guy. He has like the goatee and like the long hair. He was next to Mon Mothma.
Yep.
Sus, if not sus, just a dickhead, just an absolute dickhead. And he's just
cool.
Like every politician, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you fight in the wars?" And he's like, "No." And she's like, "Yeah, I thought so." Fucking dickhead, sus Senator Dick Head.
It was so funny when she hit that line on him, and he was just like, "Yeah, he really did kind of like shrink as he said it." No, I didn't fight in the war.
She turtled his ass. He basically fucking went into his shell. He was like, no. And Mothma's like, "God damn it, I have this dickhead next to me in the hologram order. Like, move this guy away from me."
Speaking of turtles, I've been on a huge bacon, egg, and cheese kick, and I think it's just from watching that movie where they're all going bacon, egg, and cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese.
The kids are on a bacon, egg, and cheese run. You know, we went away for a couple of days, and you're kind of living on the road, and breakfast is like, all right, got to go to Dunkin', got to go to the deli, and like, bacon, egg, and cheese. I'm getting
bacon, egg, and cheese. Man, if you haven't seen Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, go change that. I saw it's at like 98 or 99 million budget. Send that over 100 million.
Hell yeah.
So Ahsoka, Sabine, and Huyang are going to the Eye of Sion and the planet that it surrounds. And as they approach, Huyang is like, "You got to get closer. And as they get closer, transmissions jam. Huyang powers down. My uncle texted me, Uncle Fun from Legend of the Podcast. He thinks that was a little reference to Silence of the Lambs, actually. He said that's what Anthony Hopkins says to Clarice. Or is that her name? Clarice?
Oh, Clarice.
Where he's like closer with the ID. He says, "Closer, please." And he says he thinks that was maybe a little shout out to that, which would be a very cool like out of the box reference. But then they have a complete ambush dogfight in the sky or in space first, where they're ambushed by Shin, Marrok, and a bunch of fighters. The ship powers down, and Ahsoka at one point goes out onto the wing of it. There's a lady on the wing of the plane churning butter. That's what I always think from Bridesmaids. But she goes out in this awesome spacesuit, this cool blue spacesuit, looks awesome. She ignites her 2 lightsabers in space, and I'm like, oh, it's about to go down. And she, very much like Rey in Rise of Skywalker, has this cool flip where she slices an entire fighter down. It is the coolest scene in this episode. It's something out of a Star Wars video game, similar to how I thought the puzzles were similar to Jedi Fallen Order, Survivor puzzles. This was like, I think you called it like one of the more creative things. Like this is the creativity you wanted to see out of this, correct?
Yes, this is the creativity I've wanted to see out of like all the new Star Wars projects that are like live action, because this is something you could have seen in a cartoon. It would look awesome, and it's like, how the fuck do you do that in like live action though? And they did it, and it's not like, oh, the hyperspace is destroyed, we have to fix the hyperspace, and then the person goes in, fix the hyperspace, or it's up, we're going to fight in a starship, we're going to get chased by the 17 Imperial TIE fighters or the bad guys, whatever it may be. It's like, no, she's fucking floating in space, has the lightsabers going on, and is facing starships, one-on-one. That was so awesome, creative, and that's the kind of stuff I think I've been waiting for since the sequel trilogy came out, right? So, and then a bunch of, and I think Mando has had some good stuff along the way as well. I'm not going to say it's just it hasn't been done at all, but that was exactly what I was looking for, because I'm telling you, Bob, when their ship got like lit up and you see these like little particles floating through space, I had Carrie Poppins flashbacks. I had fucking Leia floating through space, and I'm like, oh no, here we go. I think that's why I've been so hard on the sequel trilogy today, because I had those flashbacks last night and I was not very happy. But I love that scene, and just that ship is so sweet, man. It just like spins and it
spinning
does all
ship
this.
And everything.
Yeah. I can get down with that for sure, because I think that is one of the cool things about the Millennium Falcon, is how it is able to like just swerve through places, and this kind of has the same aerodynamics, but it has like a whole bunch of other shit it has to move, but it somehow always fits the puzzle. So I'm a big fan. It's like having the Tetris L block. That's basically what the ship is like.
I like it, but I really love the Ghost, and they're holding out the Ghost on us. I'm like, where's the Ghost? That's the ship from Rebels. Everyone wants to see that again. So right now, I'm just kind of like, I'm waiting to get the Ghost back in our lives.
They're edging you. That's what they call it, I believe, in the industry.
They really are. They're going to do that thing like, what's that? It's a hunk of junk. And then you look over, it's the Ghost. It's the Millennium Falcon. That was a great scene in Force Awakens, by the way. Maybe the biggest pop in the theater for the Force Awakens. Opening night, when you see the Falcon for the first time, that theater, I swear people were standing up, going nuts.
I would agree. I would say that's the number one. Like, even it might have even trumped Han and Chewie, because like you kind of thought they were coming.
Because we got that too in the trailer. We saw the Chewie were home already. So like that was like, holy shit. And it was unexpected too. It's just like in the middle of an action scene. Where are we gonna? Great scene.
You want to know how good
Abrams.
You want to know how good the Millennium Falcon is? I got my Millennium Falcon toy, and AJ was playing with it, and I've since hidden it from him because he was slowly breaking it. So now he doesn't even know what it is. I hid my Millennium Falcon toy from my 5-year-old child because I don't want him ruining the Falcon any more than it's already been ruined. Even though it's kind of like its signature thing.
I was going to say, yeah. That's like you're basically being Han Solo right now, where like you're not going to let Lando take it out because he might knock the satellite off. Come on.
Every single time I would see that toy sitting in his room, I'd give that look, and it's like, I feel like it's the last time I'm going to see it right there. You know?
So they journey down to the atmosphere of the planet once they get that ship working, and we finally get the space whales. It only took 3 episodes. They didn't really edge us too long on the space whales. We got the Purrgil. That's their official name. It's Purrgil. And they looked really great in live action. In a time where we're getting a lot of weird looking CGI in some Marvel shows and some lackluster looking CGI in these television shows, I felt all of the CG in Ahsoka, at least episode 3, was fantastic. Like seeing them come out of the smoke or the gas or the clouds. I think it might be gas because that's how they're fueled basically. they eat gas. That's the only thing they eat. And that's how they go into hyperspace and shit. But I thought they looked really cool. And the whole, fight through them. And like you said, like the Falcon, kind of the ship is so thin that it could go through like the tentacles of two of them. Really, really cool sequence. Marrok, once again, is just an unnamed, faceless person. No voice indicator really to say who he is. We'll get into theories later. But then they escape. They go down into this little red forest and they hide out. And we know that next week we're probably going to get a pretty big battle. I assume like a big lightsaber battle, Balon versus Ahsoka, something like that.
Yeah, I think the reason they cut it when they did was because they couldn't really do that, because then where it goes from there, it would then be too long of an episode. So that's what I'm hoping for, at least. Sienna said that the forest reminded her of the forest from Frozen 2. I wasn't a big Frozen 2 fan, so I don't really remember what she's talking about, but that's for anyone out there. I don't know if we agree, disagree. Again, I like going in relatively clueless when I'm watching a show that has like the source material, like House of the Dragon. I'm like, don't really tell me whatever I need to know from before it goes, the show starts. So I have like the backstory, but I don't really want to know anything else, because that's when we get into spoilers. I kind of like being surprised. Boy, am I happy that you guys told me about space whales, though. And what are the Purgles?
The Purgle.
The Purgle, because that's a lot to chew on, and it's still a lot to chew on. You just told me they eat gas, which doesn't really make sense on face value there. They would map hyperspace routes out by following them and stuff like that. There's going to have to be more. Now, actually, you did a video, right, explaining the space whales?
I did a little YouTube short. It's on our YouTube channel, on our TikTok. I could throw it on Instagram too. But yeah, I did a little explainer, like a 60-second. Here's what you need to know about Purgle.
So I'm going to have to crush on that before the next episode, because I don't think they just threw them in for fun. This is clearly going to mean something, especially hyperspace is the hottest fucking form of transportation in the series right now.
Yeah.
But they were cool.
Right.
They were very cool. And I got a new TV earlier this year, and I'm watching.
Oh, money bags.
Big time over here. I had the same one. We moved into the house 12 years ago, and I realized I've had the same TV the whole time. Like, man, I'm slipping. My brain wasn't just looking for a new TV, and I was like, I went from like the Stone Age to fucking the modern age, and it looks so nice on the TV right now. It looks so much better. So I really appreciate. Maybe I should go back and watch all the shows everyone hated the CGI from, and be like, oh, that's why everyone hated the shit out of this. I was watching behind a Vaseline screen basically this whole time.
All right, before we get into theories, let's tell everyone about Game Time. Created by fans for fans, Game Time is the ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. And they guarantee the lowest price. There's a ton of must-see events coming up this fall. NFL season coming up, college football coming up, bunch of concerts, Drake, 21 Savage, Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, SZA. You've still got baseball. The U.S. Open's going on right now, I think. There's a ton of awesome concerts, from festival season to the 1975 coming back on tour, that I'll be using Game Time for. They make everything possible with the biggest last-minute price drops on seats that you never thought you could buy. The purchase process just takes 2 taps and 10 seconds. And once you buy your ticket, they're delivered directly to your phone, no printer needed, which is super easy. The app also allows you to easily share tickets with your friends via text, so you can all get into the game seamlessly. You could send your friend a ticket if he's going to be late. You don't have to go in together. Skip the hassle. Enjoy the moment. Download the Game Time app or go to their website. Enter your email and redeem the code MMB for My Mom's Basement for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Thank you to Game Time for sponsoring the show, being a longtime sponsor, always hanging in there with us.
And getting us some good seats, some great seats.
Oh, yeah. Great seats. Best seats you never thought you could buy.
And all over the place. Sports, Bluey, concerts. It's all the basics.
Yeah. Let's get into some theories. So you said Sienna thought this planet reminded her of Frozen 2, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I think this planet reminds me a little bit too much of Dathomir, where the Night Sisters are from. And it's all the red. And the red is what's doing it for me right now. Do I think that this is a Dathomir related planet? Maybe not. Do I think it's a Night Sister related planet? Yes. I do think there's going to be some witch ties that are going to come untethered here. And I think it could maybe even dip into some like horror elements if you wanted to.
I'm bringing out the Stephen A. Smith voice for this. No, oh no, Bob, this is bad. This is very bad. Dathomir Jason planets. That's what we're doing. We are now looking at for red as our signs of bad stuff. Right. That's what we're dealing with here. Yeah. It does seem they did it. They did it to us. They harped and harped and harped on witches in the first 2 episodes. Completely didn't mention them this episode, and I was like, oh, we don't have a witch problem. If you hear about witches existing, you have a witch problem, buddy. And I forgot all about it, Bob. Thank you for reminding me. Let's just say it now. This is a witch planet. We basically landed in a cauldron. There's smoking, there's bubbles, and there's fucking a green bitch with a pointy hat on watching. We are in trouble. Yeah. Shit, we're in trouble.
We're in trouble. Now, next theory. We talked last week about Marrok possibly being Ezra. Is someone under that mask that we know? Could it be a brainwashed Ezra? Did he somehow get back without Thrawn getting back? And this could be Ezra. Could it also be Kanan, who is at this point dead? I don't know. Witches, they could reanimate a body. I don't know. Could it also be Luke Skywalker? Did you hear the way I said that? Luke Skywalker with 2 U's. This is a clone of Luke Skywalker that they made using his severed hand in the extended universe, actually in one of the Thrawn books, in one of the legendary Thrawn books. Now, this is kind of a jump the shark moment for the extended universe. It's referenced usually in jest when they talk about Luke, but they're reanimating him for Book of Boba Fett. Maybe it could be Luke. Now, I have one more theory, and Clem, this isn't even a theory I like, but it's a theory that I'm going to throw out there because of friendship, because I'm your friend. Could it be Darth Jar Jar?
Yes! I was hoping you're going to say that. Darth Jar Jar confirmed. Put it on the headline. Make the YouTube graphic, Bob. Darth Jar Jar confirmed. He must have just I don't know how he fit. He's getting old. He could probably fit his whole head in that mask at this point. It's a little small, right? He's getting old. He's probably
he ties his ears up like a ponytail or something. I don't know.
That would be so badass. He has ears, dreadlocked ears now, so he can fit it in the mask. Yeah. All right, I can see. Hey, there was a little bit of usually you just have the guy who's just in his ship. He kind of was looking at the whales. He was kind of getting the scenery. There's a little bit of wonder in that character, which tells me he's not just some heartless, dark side villain. There's something in there. There's good in him still, if you may. Ooh. So, hey, could it be Darth Jar Jar? Even though Darth Jar Jar was clearly Sith dating back to episode 1. It's all out there, folks. You could watch the movie again if you'd like.
And our guy Heavy Spoilers brought up the fact that Sam Witwer's name was in the credits, although we didn't see him. And he does a lot of voices for the Star Wars galaxy. But one character that is based on his look is the main character of The Force Unleashed, Starkiller, who was Vader's apprentice at one point. Now, if this wound up being Starkiller, I think that would be awesome. I was a huge fan of those video games. They were 2 of my favorite Star Wars games ever, the original mainly. But I think that would be a long shot. I got to admit, I think that would be, you're asking a lot of people to not know if you don't know the characters from Rebels. I think the Force Unleashed video game from 2008 is a lot.
Yeah, you're asking a lot there.
The final thing, and this isn't even really a theory, it's more of a rumor, is there's a lot of rumors about Anakin Skywalker involvement. There has been since the beginning.
Yep.
Hayden Christensen's voice is heard in the trailers, so I don't think that's the biggest secret even that they're keeping close to their chest. I would just love to see a Clone Wars era flashback, whether it be a nightmare Ahsoka's having, just a regular flashback, flashback the tank. Maybe she gets hurt. She has to go on the flashback the tank or something. That's my wish. I think it would be really cool as well. This is my little prediction. If they've hidden the fact that they filmed something with Ewan McGregor while he was in there with Obi-Wan. So if you get the original Clone Wars trilogy together, not trilogy, but the Trinity, if you will, together of Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and Anakin.
I like that one a lot. It feels like we have so much more Vader that we could deal with here, right? And I feel and every time you're going to play Vader, again, all the Obi-Wan stuff, those I think were the highlights of that series for us, was whenever Vader was on screen. So sign me the hell up for that. If you want to throw some Obi-Wan in the mix too, God bless. Let's confirmed. We're going to confirm that one as well. Rubber stamp it.
All right. that was the end of my theories. Now I have to talk about telemarketers for a sec because I watched episode 2 last night. Clem, I fucking got by these guys.
No,
I swear to you, I got by this. I think these two guys in particular. So if you have been watching Telemarketers, it's this documentary we talked about. It's absolutely wild where they are exposing a telemarketing scam where these people were calling on behalf of quote unquote the police, and you donate money for the soldiers that got killed on the side of the road. They say like this kind of stuff to you. Do you want to donate? I've donated like 2 or 3 times, and they call every year and they're like, hey, it's that time of year again. We're raising funding. Now the scam is they give like 10% of it to the police, if that, and they take 90% of it and then put it in their own pocket. And they send you these little decals that make you think you're like friends with the police. I have a cousin who was a state trooper and is a police officer. I have multiple family members who are police officers. So when these people call and they say, would you like to donate for a fallen police officer? It hits my heartstrings a little bit. And I'm like, you know what? I would like to donate for them. Clem, my heart fucking sank watching the second episode of Telemarketers, because the first episode I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, that kind of sounds like this like thing that I donated to. When they show this lunatic in his like room basically making these calls, and he's freaking out on people, and they say that he like took too many drugs 30 years ago and accidentally killed somebody. Clem, I recognized his voice like that because I've talked to him like 3 times over the past 3 years, and it's the exact cadence. It's the exact way. He's like, would you like to make a donation? Yes. He's like, God bless you. I'm going to send out the decals. And every year I'm like, bro, you don't need to send me the decals. Like, I'll make the donation. I got family in the police force or whatever. He's like, no, I will send you the decals. Just stay on the line. And like I got by this fucking lunatic. And I think I got by the next guy that they showed too, who like his phone dies mid call and he gets upset about it.
Yeah, the junkie.
I fucking think I got by him too.
Oh my God. So the thing is, the first episode and throughout the series, Pat Pespis, he's kind of the main caller guy. Obviously, Sam, I think it's Sam. He's the guy with the video camera. Lovable guy. I love him. I want to take him to a Giants game. I know he has the Giants starter jacket over the years. I want to take him. He just seems like a good dude. I want Dave to hire him as a salesman at the new Barstool. I think it would be great. Wouldn't you would you feel that guy could get good ads on My Mom's Basement for us? Do you think that would be the case?
Absolutely.
Do you think he would chop it up with us and talk about space whale? I've actually seen a space whale once, Like, the guy is just a good fucking time. You've seen, if you've lived in Jersey, you've lived in the tri-state area, multiple Pat Pespis in your life. That fucking mean guy, though, that killed the vibes. I was like, oh, there are like, this is a predatory like scam at first. But like when you have a guy who's just evil like that, it's like, I hope you fucking die. I hope your house burns down. And he's literally murdered a person. That's when I was just like, holy shit. And I was like, man, I'm so happy I've never had to deal with this guy. And my guy Bob, you probably
I was always nice to him, so he never like. But I literally said to my girlfriend last night, I was like, do we still have those decals? And she's like, yeah, I saw them the other day. So I'm gonna find them and I'll send you a picture or something.
The FPO, right? The FPO. You have to get that.
It's got to be, yeah. So I felt sick to my stomach watching that because I was just like, oh my God, like this guy's going to fucking call me in a few months and ask for and I've donated over the years. Probably like $200 overall.
Oh my God, man. That's and it's funny because when you first hear the scam, you think it's from years ago, but then you learn that it's still like going on today, basically. And there's really no way to regulate it. So my guy, Bob, is like, probably, if he had called a week ago before this show went on, you probably would have donated, right?
Yeah. I mean, probably, yeah. And you like maybe I would have. I have no idea, but like I remember it being so annoying. Like he would call every year, and I'd be like, this guy's nice, but like friggin', he always catches me like in the worst times. I don't want to do this. My girlfriend would always laugh and stuff, and now like I ain't laughing. That was scary.
This guy can't do anything back because he's a murderer. He's murdered. He
got my money. Now I just know, I ain't picking up the phone for him anymore.
Now, do you think since you donated, instead of being like, I hope your house burns down, I hope your family leaves you, do you think he was like, oh, I hope you get your dream job. You start low as an intern for a golf podcast, and one day you get to talk about
He
Star
put me
Wars.
on this trajectory somehow.
Yeah,
No,
he did. I don't think that's the case at all. I used to get a phone call from a guy. They'd be like, hello, how are you doing? And it almost sounded like it was a human voice, but it sounded almost robotic. And then once you'd be like, hello, then he'd pick up and start talking. And I'm telling you, Bob, and it's always at the worst times. And I said to my wife, I was like, this guy called and I need to have him call back because I want to donate to these police officers. You know, I want to help people because they're not just saying you're helping the police who you want to make sure is helping you, but you're also like, they're saying, officers who have fallen and yada, yada, yada. And you're like, oh shit, I got to answer the bell.
They say you're helping the families. Like they make, like, they're truly evil when you think about like what they're saying to get your money. If karma's a thing, holy shit. Yeah.
That dude is going to be roasting and he's going to be in the witch planet. That's where he's going to spend the rest of his days. Oh, so Bob Fox has got. He got duped, if you may.
I got. And like, it does not make me happy to admit that on the podcast that I got. It makes me feel like a true idiot, but I had to admit it because I truly like shocked to my core watching episode 2 of couldn't even watch episode 3 because I was like, it's gonna reveal that every charity I've ever donated to is a fraud or something.
I will say it goes M. Night Shyamalan style. 1 was the best, 2 goes down, and 3 is like, it's still entertaining.
Oh, really?
Our guy Pat is the star of the show no matter what. So you have to watch 3 just to see Patty dresses in all these different outfits. It's incredible. But there is a difference between losing your money to someone sweet like Pat and losing your money to a psycho murderer that wishes death upon you if you do not pay him.
Which I guess I did. Like,
do you feel seen right now? I feel like you feel seen.
Feel seen? Like,
yeah,
like because it's getting exposed. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm seen. No, I don't feel seen.
You don't feel seen. Bob, not seen.
I don't
just
feel seen. I just feel scared. Like this murderer has my number, I think.
Yeah, it's weird when a murderer has your number. Let's see. Do any murderers have my number? I don't think so. I hope not.
That you know of.
That I know of. Do you have my number? Are you a murderer, Bob?
Oh, I mean, John Rich texts you about the rundown all the time. He said the last time we did one of those, who is a serial killer in the office, nobody answered him, and he was offended.
John does have the face of a serial killer in that one picture. So
yeah,
check out. We love you though, John.
All right. This was episode 299 of My Mom's Basement. Come back next week for episode 300. Well, where I'll say, this is basement. Get it? Like, this is Sparta 300. A little Zack Snyder joke for the boys and girls at home. What's a hashtag we could have for this episode? If you've made it to the end, hashtag which planet?
Hashtag edging wars.
I don't want to know what is in that hashtag.
And then
let's go which planet.
Okay. Hashtag which planet if you want to go with Bob. Hashtag edging wars if you want to go with me. And include a gift with edging wars if you want to. I'm going to do the gift as well. So we'll see which one We'll see if any of them get any love. If any of them. And if they do, we'll count it up for episode 300 starring Dave Portnoy.